sure that we are live.
I am doing it as we speak.
Are you? Who do we have with us at the moment?
We have, but they have to introduce.
I know that they have to introduce themselves. That's kind of the point, right? Right. That's how we do this. Are you with us?
Yes.
It's all right. Don't make us feel awkward or anything.
Sorry.
So
I didn't know if you were live.
you?
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Well, we're live, so that's great.
All right. Well,
we have Mr. Larry.
Mr. Larry.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Mr. Larry likes pumpkins, as he has shown us the many carved pumpkins.
I see.
I do like pumpkins.
Not bizarre at all. Not bizarre at all.
And I've got my apple juice. It's got a sloth on it, see? Comes in a pop top and everything.
All right. Sure thing. That's fine. Would you like to read out the first post, please?
This is our first post, yes?
No. The next post is our first post.
Oh, is that right? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Mr. Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Alex. 3 entries, 3 bronze awards. Happy with that.
Yeah, so Alex entered 3 that we've seen before. He entered his Terminator, he entered his Lionel Johnson, and he also entered... I've forgotten what this...
I don't know what that thing's called, actually.
Yeah, it's... Larry, do you know?
I do not.
Okay, yeah. So this is one of the...
Also, I'm not sure where...
Oh, you're not sure? Oh, I should probably put this on the Discord so that everybody can see. How do I press... Which buttons do I press? Share your screen, and then I click the OBS. And it should... There we go. I think it's a Hobgoblin... Okay. Hobgoblin something or other riding something. It's one of the new ones. So yeah, it's I think I'm very surprised that his Terminator only got bronze. I'm not as surprised with the Lionel Johnson. I am a bit more surprised with this one because I thought that this one was really good.
But hey, he placed, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
But I am also a bit surprised how he only got bronze for all 3. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because like they're very different qualities, each of them.
Yeah.
Which is a bit unusual. So I would have loved to see the other things. Oh, speaking of, have you got? Oh, what the heck is happening here?
Oh, you must have clicked on the post analytics thing.
I don't know.
Yeah. The view insights. Don't click on view insights.
Oh no, what's happened? Okay, here she is.
Okay.
All right, can you read up for the next one, please?
We have Kit Strong.
All right, here we go.
Right, settled on a hair color, and I'm pretty pleased with how the leather turned out, especially given how quick it was. Oh yeah.
All right, Larry, tell us what you think.
The use of brown on that is beautiful. That can be hard to color to do.
Yeah.
To shade properly, especially when you've got similar tones between like the leather apron and the hair, but they're both colored very distinctly differently surfaces. You know, the hair looks shiny and glossy, the leather looks matte and old and used.
Yeah, I agree. It is quite difficult to get that difference of kind. That's what I'd call it.
So I think this is just the first step that he's going for. Now would be really bringing up that sort of shine texture in the hair, which can be quite difficult.
I would agree.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else that we can say about it at the moment? Not really?
Are we asking Larry?
Either of you.
I think it's at a point where we just need to see more.
Yeah.
It's looking good thus far.
Yeah. All right. Well, shall we move on to the next piece?
We got Connor Patterson.
Mm-hmm.
Doing some flawless host models. Wasn't sure what color to do the purity seal, so I decided on light blue, and the black on the belt and pouches worked well against the flesh tone. Does he mean the yellow?
I'm not sure.
But I do think this is very interesting color scheme he's gone for, like a purple and yellow marine.
I do believe that
Agreed.
is the specific marine, the flawless host.
Oh, that's their name, Flawless Host. A very, very atas name for a Space Marine chapter. Doesn't sound badass.
I think it
Yeah.
sounds all right. But Larry, give us your thoughts.
Purple's very good.
Mm.
Um, I find it interesting. I've seen a lot of people doing yellow and some other color combinations lately. This one, a few others on here, some that I've seen on Reddit. And I didn't know if there was something going on to inspire people to use yellow lately.
Mm-hmm.
You know, beyond something other than like Imperial Fist or something.
Well, it's a different yellow from Imperial Fist. It's quite
It's
pale.
a Naples yellow. This
Yeah.
Naples yellow.
Naples yellow.
Yeah, and this is the kind of yellow that I'm thinking of, that I'm seeing frequently lately.
Wonder why people are going for this yellow. I feel it does work on a Space Marine. It looks really good. I think purple and yellow is not an uncommon color combination of complementary colors. But on a Marine, it feels new to me. I feel like I've not seen something like this before.
Is it the direct opposite? So yellow.
Yeah, direct opposite. Yellow and purple. That's correct.
So yeah. Well, I think it all looks pretty good. The one thing I think is good is how he's chosen his purity seal down here as the light blue, which I think contrasts well against both. That sky blue. But yeah, I think it just needs highlights and all of the other things. I think as far as a color test, it looks great.
Yep.
But it obviously needs more. But it's probably just the start with this one, so we'll see how it goes. All right. So next up,
Who is this?
Who's this?
Who's this man?
Oh no, do not go to that, please. Thank you. So I tried to click see more, but it did not want to see more.
Because you didn't feed it. Feed me, Seymour. You gotta feed it and then it works. See, you did it right. Right this time.
Alright.
Larry, back me up here.
Or don't.
He's silent.
Yes.
The silent Larry.
I will choose that as being backed up. So this was what we did last Sunday, and it's so weird having done 2 videos in the time that we've done the reviews.
Yeah, I was quite surprised how quickly I actually managed to rush it out. But I think the pictures were fairly easy to find for them. And I don't know. I'm just glad I managed to get it done on time.
Yeah. I think it was a good one. It was another hour-long one. Sorry, go.
Yeah, this is a long one.
Yeah. And ironically, it was one of our longest lore ones.
No, I think our Blood Angels one still beats the time. That one was
does.
1 hour 20 minutes.
I said one of our longest, not our
Second
longest. Yeah, so but what I was surprised about is that the lore section was the longest for the Iron Hands.
Yeah. I kind of like the way we did the format on these latest 2 lore videos.
I think we're going to have to change the way that we actually do things, because I think they're not working the way that we want them to. But we will talk about that
later.
another time.
So
but
next...
who's this? It's someone we haven't seen for some time.
Is that Alan Ray? Who's
No,
this?
no.
It's Justin. Has had some motivation to actually paint lately. Finding it enjoyable, thought I'd add some scouts to the DA's Dark Angel. Yeah, okay. And also try getting some models done for a friend that has been waiting way too long. Oh well.
Well, I think
This is
it's so
cool.
smooth, but I will throw to Larry, and I will not be confused by the name this time.
uh, well, I like what's going on here so far. He does add some other color to it besides the yellow. And this is one of the ones I had in mind for this particular shade of yellow that I've been seeing a bunch of. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's just sticking in my mind, but uh, it's a good color combination here. But I think that's just primer because he paints it green later. I think
Yeah, it could be because
kind of
it's
a greenish gray.
yeah, I think it might stay that color because of Dark Angels, that sort of blackish color, so I think
Mm,
it might stay that color.
Yeah, I
okay.
didn't get the impression that it would be a Dark Angels because of how it's like black and yellow right now.
Well, I think that yellow is more meant to be a cream and it will be built up from
Yeah.
this yellow.
Okay.
Alright. I think
Sorry,
that
sorry. I just have a question. It's just I've never seen. Is this what is this meant to be? Because he's
is a
got
scout.
pants,
It's a scout. It's a Dark Angel Scout. So these,
and this is official model. Like,
yeah, these are the initiates of the Space Marines. So this is how they
oh,
start out.
oh, that's so cool. Because I was just like, is this some special conversion? I've never seen Space Marine have pants and sleeves like that. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay, this is.
So
I actually much prefer this.
this is called Scout armor. So it's not as strong as power armor.
Yeah,
So
fair enough.
there's certain powered segments, right? For example, the chest plate and basically the bodice and the
The
shoulder
pauldrons,
pads.
yeah,
But everything else is just standard
very
gear,
light stuff.
and
Okay,
it allows them to move through terrain a lot more quietly.
very,
Yeah,
very interesting. All right, so I will move on
you
to
will move on. We'll
to.
move on.
We'll move on to
Okay,
Mr. Jose.
okay.
Oops, sorry. Keep or replace. What do you think of the purple crystal blades? They'll get a final coat of gloss when I'm done. Done to tie the gnolls and wolf together. Should I keep them or paint them steel? Gonna finish and varnish tomorrow, so please speak up soon if it's not working. Oh dear.
Well,
I
unfortunately, we cannot
cannot
speak
speak up on that.
because we're a little late. So, Larry, your thoughts? We will see whether it was kept or not.
Well, he does have an update later on
Oh, does
there.
he?
I think he does keep the purple on the crystal on the blades. And it looks good too.
Yeah,
Um,
I see your comment there. You say you're for the purple, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So should we
Um,
move to the next one since he has an update? He says
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll take a look a little further on, and we'll see how it goes.
because it's looking good.
All right. So,
yeah, the update he adds the glow to the rooms and
Nice.
stuff.
okay. So
Okay,
next
we've
up, we
got
got.
John Gass. Went back to the drawing board and decided to focus on the cloak's color before trying to iron out the camo pattern. Added some muted purple for the shadows. The cloak uses three paints: camo green, bright yellow green, and dark plum, all from Pro Acryl.
Well done.
Yeah. The blends need work and there needs to be a deeper contrast, but I think it's heading the right way. As always, any feedback is greatly appreciated. Don't worry about reading this part unless you want to. Just trying to answer some of the questions from the review stream. For reference, I'm looking at a jungle/swamp diorama display of Gaunt's Ghost for competition. Just testing ideas at the moment, and the feedback y'all gave on the camo was very helpful. I'm rethinking how to make it read more camo, less dirty without doing the traditional 40K digital or 80s action movie versions, and was not using any reference images, but I will now. All right.
I think that the shadow plum color needs to be applied a lot more thickly in these recesses here. So those very stark recesses. Um, like here you can just sort of blend it out. But at the moment, I don't know about you guys, but I don't see a lot of purple in those shadows. Do you?
Yeah,
No.
that's the thing. I was like, when he said plum, I was like, isn't plum supposed to be a purplish tone? And
Yeah.
it's not coming through as much. John, he's on the stream, he's on the comments right
Oh
now.
yeah, yeah.
So maybe it needs to be re-established a little bit more. It's a good choice what you've thought to do, green, sorry, purple shadows for green.
Mm.
But I think it's just not coming through.
Well, see, I think okay. So for me, in crevices like this, I'd go quite quite deep with it. I might even just go straight to the plum in here, right? But I'm not see, when I think of plum, I think of like more I guess I don't think of like a purple so much. I think more
Violet.
yeah, it's
Yeah, like these type.
yeah, but see like I guess because I don't see it on this, I don't really think of it. Like plum isn't a color that comes out as much. You put that in the streams
Yeah,
area.
yeah. Just thought it'd be easy for
No,
everyone.
no, please remove it from the streams area.
Okay.
Put it in general if you're gonna put it
General?
somewhere.
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
put it general.
Um, but that's not what sort of what comes to my head. That's there's nothing wrong with the color choice. I'm just saying as far as color names go. But yeah, I'd go straight to that color in here and just give it a nice thin coat in there. But I might glaze it up in, for example, here, where it's those other colors there, but I just don't see it come through.
So he's saying that the dark plum is more of a desaturated purple. Yeah, I figured it would be as much. Maybe he should just add a bit more, yeah?
Yeah,
Maybe
definitely a
do a
bit.
wash,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
like not like an overall wash, but like a controlled wash
yeah, yeah.
in the crevices.
Like a pin wash sort of thing. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think that it just needs a lot more application of, because the the issue is, like, if you know your judges, some judges want that stark color vibrancy. Um, it really depends on the judges you're dealing with, because some judges will be like, "Oh, so subtle, so beautiful." Other judges will be like, "I see no difference at all. Moving on."
Fair
So
enough.
that's one of the biggest things. But yeah, I definitely push more on that
That purple.
purple.
I think the yellow green is very lovely, but it does look quite stark.
Dark, yeah.
I think
Like
it needs a transitionary color. Like just mix
I'm,
that with
I'm,
the green that you've got on right now so that it just blends in a bit.
I'm not sure that that would be as bad if we see more of that purple come in. We'll
You
see.
think?
We'll see how it looks once it gets updated.
Mm.
Because I think once we see that purple come in more, yeah,
Yeah, so he says he'll try to do a controlled
yeah.
wash.
I read.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right, we'll move on to we have Joseph's update.
Yes.
Okay. I finished Fenra and Friends for God tier and got Glow for Kingdom Death built and primed.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the feedback, and thanks to Iskandar for pushing me to push the edge highlights on the crystal. Going almost white made a lot of difference.
Yeah.
Still awaiting my box.
The box.
Yeah, my box. Hitting port near the local distribution hub. Should be in the next couple of days.
So, Larry, would you like to give your thoughts on these guys right here?
Hmm. I like the blue inside the runes. I'm not sure the glow
Oh,
that's
yeah,
around
yeah,
it. Yeah, on the flank of the wolf. I'm not sure if that really reads as like OSL to me, so or just a fur pattern color.
yep, yep, yep.
But I definitely see that's what he's going for, and I don't think I could do any better than that myself.
Fair.
The crystals do look good, a lot better than they did in the first one.
So
Um,
the
We've got a Warren.
oh, we've got a warrant.
We've got a Warren.
The only thing that I'd say on the crystals is that they're backwards.
Backwards.
Yep, the crystals are backwards. So with the crystals, how it should be is the light should be at the bottom
Oh.
and it should be dark up top because of how light distributes.
Oh.
What's it
Okay.
called?
Refraction.
Yeah. Crystal refraction. I'll try and show an image of this. Well, that's not going to help. Alright, I'll have to go to...
I know where I can find some pictures.
Yeah,
To the Pinterest. Look at him. He's already giving me the side eye. Okay. Crystal. How to paint crystal.
So one of the things that I'm...
Yeah, you're right. All these are more 2D art references.
Can you just send one so that we can look at it?
I'll just send this because this looks like the most clear.
Okay, yeah, just put it in the thing and we will open it up. Here we go. So this right here is 2D, but you'll see that what they do is they darken the top first, right? And the reason why that is because this is how the light passes through.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you guys can see. I'm gonna try and zoom out a bit on this one so you guys can see all of it. So how it works is the light passes through here. Can you guys see the mouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the light passes through here and it will bounce off the bottom of the crystal. So the bottom of the crystal will contain all of the light. So when we take a look over here, we take a look at the crystals. Yeah, that one.
I've got a purple one so that it's easier to see.
Yeah, well, that one I think just looks better than the other one.
Yeah, just to show.
Open browser. So yeah, you'll see up the top. That's a better way. Like, just think of it as step 3. Don't worry about all of the rest of this nonsense. Just think about that for painting in 3D. And we see here how up all the top. Now see though, the way that he's done the highlighting with the white, that looks really good because those will have those sharp bits on them. You'll see that even with these ones, they still do those sharp bits right there. And that's how it looks in both art and reality. So I think, like, I really like that, but I think that that's within his skill set. So I think, like, he could do that. I'm not saying that these are bad. I'm just saying that when working with crystal, you know, that's one of the things that you can do to make it look better.
Cool.
Does anybody else want to say anything on these guys before we move on?
Well, RJ, you should say something.
Well, yeah, sure.
They're looking good so far. I'm sorry, I wasn't really paying attention. I was kind of talking to my wife a little bit. So.
All good, all good.
Classic.
All right. So we will move on to the next piece.
We've got Karl, the real Karl, as he'll call himself.
Yes.
Mushroom Man from Reaper, and then 2 minis from Dragon Bait Miniatures, Lion, Skeleton, and Sedja Beast.
Sedja Beast. Okay, yeah. Interesting.
I believe that's what it's called. I like the mushroom.
I thought you would.
Looking very tasty. Crab and mushrooms, my 2 favorite. Oh, yeah.
We do feed her, I swear. I swear we do.
Well, shall we start with Warren this time and then Larry?
Sure.
I would say right now I'm conflicted. They're looking a little flat, but at the same time, it's obviously supposed to be a pretty limited palette. Mm-hmm. So, I think they're looking good. I just don't think that they're it's a palette that I'm used to really looking at, so I'm not really sure how to feel about it.
Mm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
maybe some more contrast to make some things not so samey.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
yeah, I'm not really sure what to really say about this group. They look good, but yeah,
Could use a little bit more. What is
a
it?
little something.
Well, maybe Larry can point out what the something is.
Well, I've got a couple of mushroom men that I've been had sitting in the queue for a while myself. I wasn't sure what to do with, and I'm looking at this one, and the shading that I'm seeing for the cat has me thinking about some things that I hadn't thought of before. With the way the colors are like in the notches there
Mm-hmm.
and the little surface bits. I'm gonna have to try out some of that stuff. But for the other thing on the end with the snake head, I think I might have tried to integrate the coloring between the reptile body and the lion body a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's a fantastic creature to begin with, so it doesn't necessarily have to be naturally colored lion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Something a little more of a transition in there.
Yeah.
Each part is done well, I think, but it's like going back to the 19th century and a taxidermist just stuck a snake onto the lion head. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Out of a
yeah, yeah,
mermaid or
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
I think if I were going to use this for like a D&D game or something, I'd try to transition it a little better, unify the whole
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
a little more.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Well, I definitely like the lobster man, the lobster mushroom man. I
Yum.
actually like the quick and dirty skeleton. Quick and dirty skeleton makes me happy.
Hmm.
I do believe he needs some basing, but like when you do a quick and dirty paint job, I think that you really need to work on your basing quite a bit so that it separates it a lot.
Mhm.
Um, but other than that, I like them. Like I do think that the line needs quite a bit more, the line body. But I'm not unhappy with the snake. The snake works. It does what it's meant to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like the lion body needs quite a bit of work. But I like the mushroom man. I like the skeleton. And I think time to move on.
Yes, Cal says it's based on an Egyptian myth.
All right.
Ah,
So next up, we've got Connor Patterson again.
all
So
right.
some updates.
First attempt at sub-assembly started painting around 12, finishing up at 8:30 p.m. Very long painting session.
So do we know, is this one complete?
I don't.
I do not know.
I don't either. I do think it looks a lot better now that some of the details are painted on, like the metal on the back
Yeah.
and so forth.
I think he's just trying to be super clean.
Yeah.
I think that's his main focus. And that's a good focus to have, to be clean. But yeah, like I do like the soft shadow of the purple on the yellow here. I think it's just him going over the yellow to clean up a bit, but I do think that that looks quite nice.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so I think we will move on.
Sorry, one.
It does sound
Oh,
as if
Lauren, I think your TV is coming through on the back.
Oh, okay, give me a second. Sorry.
It's
all
okay.
good. All right, so we will move on to the next piece,
Right. It is our Kid Strong once again.
and it seems to be a bit more updated.
I think I'm getting close to done. A bit of cleanup and maybe a little more highlighting, and I'll call her good enough.
Mm. So, Larry, you were commenting quite a bit before, so I think we'll throw to you.
Well, in this one, she's got the blade, and I really like the paint job on that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice gray steel. It's not super polished because it's obviously still a work in progress within the point of view of the character. Um, so I think it's a good color for that. A little bit of irregularity in the shades, some lighter and darker, but uh, it's not like wildly like a lot of NMM non-metal metallics do. Like just alternating patterns of dark and light, dark and light, dark and light. And it doesn't really do that. It's going to have that kind of mottled effect on a unpolished piece of metal like that.
Yeah. I think that the hair's really stepped up quite a bit over the time that we've seen it. It's gone from a brown to an auburn hair. Like, it's that reddish brown that when the light hits it, it turns red.
Yeah.
And I think that looks really, really good.
I guess I'm still looking for the Maybelline shine effect.
Yeah, and I think it's starting to come in.
Yeah, because right now I can tell that those shine effects currently is due to the light itself. It's not painted on yet.
Mhm.
So I guess I'm just for those final detailings of the shadowings and all that, because I feel the skin currently is looking a bit flat. Like, it feels like one color on a bust this large. I feel there could be way more work done into sort of expressing those shadows a bit more, or maybe because we're only looking at one angle, I can't see what else has been worked on. So maybe a few more angles for the photography would be good.
Yeah, well, I think that would be very good for helping it progress, because we are just commenting on this one angle.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let us move on, and we were up to. Oh, we haven't.
Oh, we got a Chester.
We haven't seen Chester in a while.
Really? Is he not new?
No, he is not new.
Because I feel like I know that last name, but anyhow, hello. I would like advice and tips on how to make my paint job better. It was a fun process, and I used Trevelyan's method on painting. I'm very sorry for the bad pictures. This I think is pretty good for pictures.
Yeah, pictures are fine.
Yeah, like it's not too cluttered or anything. It's bright enough that we can see what's going on.
Like,
so...
the only thing is that little cup you've got in the background which fights with it. If you literally move that off to the side, it would be fine, because it's not fighting with those models you've got in the background or anything.
Okay, you can check Brother Brink's drink off your bingo
You don't
chart.
say these things. That's not how it works.
Oh, okay.
You're not meant to yell them out loud.
Oh, I see. All right.
You destroying everything. So thank you. As for how you could improve things, I think that the first thing that you could improve is your basing, because the first thing that I came to look at was the basing. Now, what I've done for my basing, when I'm doing jungle bases, is I just get some, not leaf litter, but bark and other things. And I get all of that, I bake it up, and then I just put it in a food processor, and it comes out absolutely fantastic. Oh, you're gonna send one of these?
Good one.
Yeah, sure. That one's got some other stuff there, but it's fine. It's fine. Just send that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, just. Oh, I am relaxed. She never thinks that I'm relaxed.
You often are not relaxed.
I see.
It's true.
I see. Well, we'll wait until it actually comes through.
Come now. Yep.
Alright, so here is an example of. Now, what I do is I just mix some Italian herbs in with this. Like, honestly, it does sound mildly ridiculous, adding Italian herbs to your base, but
it works.
It does. It looks like leaf litter.
Trees that'll sprout out if you water it enough over time, and you got little bushes that'll pop up.
There you go, Ruben. Sonny says something. Henry's eyes. Yeah. And we didn't say that I'm Cal and I'm Sonny, did we?
No.
Go
No,
straight
that-
into it. Yeah. All right.
Oh,
Well,
well, who,
by the way,
everyone knows who we are at this point.
here we go. I'll add it now that we're
Oh,
half
okay.
an hour in. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the weekly WAYPN. I'm Karl,
I'm Sonny,
aka,
Henry, and Sangita.
and we have with us.
Larry.
Larry.
There we go.
Hooray,
it's all-
he did it this time.
Yeah. All right.
Previously,
But
it
yeah,
was a
so
ghost.
that's all I did. I just scattered some of that, and that's one of the things. So don't get rid of anything that you've got there already. Just PVA around that, right? And also around his feet to give that idea of it having some real power, that it's stomping into all of this.
Yes.
Now, as for all of this, I don't think that there's anything in particular that you really want to change. Ignore him.
Yes.
That you want to change with this. I like the way that it's built up, but if you're going to add scratches and that sort of thing, just do big old lines of metal. Stop.
Stop. It's my job.
It's not your job.
Yes, it is.
He's the worst. And have those go along the thing. So just add scratches and that sort of thing. I think the way that you've built it up using Trevelyan's method is great. Larry, is there anything that you would add to this piece?
I'm not sure what Trevelyan's method is.
Yeah.
At sponge work, he'll sponge layer things up instead of so to give metal this idea of like built up layers of paint, he'll sponge on several layers, give texture to the piece.
Oh, okay. Kind of like a dry brush technique sort of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Kinda.
Okay. What I might do is the gun on the side, I would probably add more bare metal elements.
Yep.
Or at least do a dry brush or something, because right now it just looks kind of like a black blob
Yeah,
to me.
fair enough.
Just very flat.
Yeah.
And it almost looks like it's not been done.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Yeah, no, I think that's all right. I also think a dry brush of metal over the leg, would really help all the rivets pop up and that sort of thing.
You want to use like a bright steel metal paint, not like
Like a
gray or something. Yeah.
And just a light dry brush. We're talking real light, just enough to hit those rivets and the edges of the metal. And that would really help things come up, I believe. Also, just painting in this section, properly painting it in normally, because you've got some overspill from the sponging. And once you do that, what it will do is it will help separate all of this quite nicely. I think this is a las cannon, so if you wanted to do some like energy coils along here, I do believe it is a las cannon. That would really help it pop.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like the chainsaw. Leave that. I think that looks great. And I think that the way that you've done the green looks great. But hitting those rivets with some steel will really help it pop some more as well. Those differences of kind will really help it make it pop. I think that it is a fantastic start, and I love the way that you've done the jungle base thus far. But just really, this will help it pop up so much. Just some leaf litter. I think we've got something more recent, do we? With more interesting leaf litter?
It might be the Bushido models. I remember you did that with Bushido, and the Terminators that we did with the Dark Angels Terminators.
Okay, where is the Dark Angels Terminators? Can you grab those while we're looking through?
Might not have it on the display at all. On very large files. Actually, no. I can search it here. Give me a second.
Okay. But anyway, we will move on, and I will read out while Sunny's getting that. So Justin has progressed, and as you said, Larry, there was some green to do. Base color progress, heads, and then starting on washes, moving on to layering and details to finish. Taunt on the cloak for the sniper, likely going to go with the urban, possibly digital camo of some variety to match the terrain. Hope all of you enjoy early stuff. Alright, so we will move on.
Good aim.
Yeah, no, that looks like a good angle.
No, because it's focused on the Terminator, not the
Well,
base.
then this one, please. This one right here.
Righty.
So, Larry, tell us what you think.
I really like how clean all this is, how smooth it is, and
Justin
adding
is
in the
very clean.
green really, adding in the green just makes the whole thing
Oh,
snap
yeah.
together for me. Um, I'm loving these right now. I'm just curious what color the boots are going to be.
I think they might just be black. I think they might just be black boots.
Oh, okay.
But I could be wrong.
I don't know what they're supposed to be, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But I really do like the choice of colors here.
So, yeah, I think that they're looking very good. I think that they're looking very clean, and I'm gonna look forward to seeing them done up because at the moment what I'm just seeing is very, very clean pieces. And there's not a lot to look at with them yet because I think they just look so clean and so neat. So 0 errors.
Yep.
But there's also no detailing yet. So it's just like watching a factory finish sort of thing. It's like, ooh, that looks very nice, but there's also yeah. There's nothing to look at. So we shall move on to the next one, which is now I'll see this one does not seem to have popped up, so I will load it now. Super quick paint job for half Orc October. Probably should bust out a wash for the Morning Star because it looks a bit blah. Edited a bit of black wash and added some rust. Alright, so get you to take a look at this one. So are you still with us, Warren?
Yep.
Would you like to comment on this one while I try and discover the missing Bushido models so that I can show off some different texture?
Sure. I think for a quick paint job, it probably achieved everything he wanted it to. If you wanted to go back and show a little bit more love, I think a quick, easy way would be to decide where your light source is coming from, concentrate some highlights, and then do opposing shadows to increase contrast. And that'd be a quick, easy way to just spice it up a little bit.
I'd agree with that. Larry, do you have anything to add?
Not really. I almost missed the rust, but then I saw the second picture and it was on the weapon there. It's like, oh, okay, there it is. I was kept looking like on the shield and the armor, but yeah, for super quick paint job, this is good.
Yes,
Good for the table.
I will definitely agree with that. So here I'm just going to open up this. Now this is a much smaller base than what you're dealing with, Chester. So you've got a much bigger base. So you've got more room, but you see I've got little sticks and all sorts of little bits and pieces in there. So the leaves and this and the skeleton over here, count that as your bits in here. So that leaf litter will really help fill out all of this and will really help make these plants pop out quite a bit more. So that's what I was talking about earlier. So that's what's really going to help make these things come to life. Sunny's also brought up some other things which I'll try and bring up, which was the Terminators, but I'm not sure that they've got that level of stuff in there. But I think that they like that's really what you want. All right, let us move on to none of that. Oh, this is Sunny telling us when it is, and now we've got something from Iskander. Another piece from the Stuffed Tables board game. I thought I'd try adding to those lightning magic with the minis. Now, Iskander, if you're still in the chat, uh, if you want to tell us what kind of wires you used here, I think that would be really great. But I will throw to Larry, and you can tell us what you think first, and then we'll get to Warren.
It's a good coloring on the energy effect there. I don't know if it's supposed to be lightning as such or just a general magic energy, but I like how it's brighter at the end, a little bit darker in the middle areas. And he's got some of the OSL effect, it looks like, on the cloth there. You know, you see some of that green glow on the hood and in the sleeves.
Look at that. It looks like it's one of those fluorescent ones. One of your specialties, isn't it, Larry?
Yeah. It looks really good.
Yeah.
Doing it that way.
Yeah, I think it does. I agree. Is there anything else you want to add?
No.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll throw to our other Larry of the day, Warren.
I think it looks really good. I also really like the magic glow effect. I do think that like the bottom toward the feet and whatnot, I feel like if the cloths were a little bit darker, it would help make the glow effect pop a little bit more.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah. So like shadow the
And
cloth more.
yeah. And I I would like to see a little bit more of the green OSL on top of the hat.
Yep.
It looks really, really subtle. But I don't know how powerful the glow is supposed to be that he's going for. So maybe it's perfect. But I personally would like to see a little bit more on the top of the hat.
Yeah, no, I think
I agree. Needs more.
I don't know. I like it.
Well, when I take a look at my computer, I can actually quite see it. That sort of yellow green comes through a bit more on my computer. I think it could just a line, a nice sharp line.
I don't know. I like it.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
I agree with the shadow for the blue, down here, like make it a little darker in some areas, so by contrast all up here is a lot brighter. I think that's a cool idea, but I don't know. It's so easy to overdo OSL. That's why when I look at all of this, I'm just like, nah, man. Like I wouldn't want them to ruin it because it is so hard to go darker after you've increased the brightness from an OSL than it is to like lighten. But that's my thoughts. Let's see, is Iskander still here? It says yup. But this is all. We have confirmed that he is alive.
Here's the thing that I think this was just a quick fun session for just playing around. Okay, because later on he does talk. Sorry, I think we passed that post where he asks how this painter does the thing.
Yeah, no, that was last week's.
Yeah, so here's the thing. For Iskander, he uses a lot of his pieces are generally very saturated and vibrant looking. I think the way that you will be very surprised how much your pieces can look so much more dynamic when you actually incorporate more desaturated tones. So when you're doing, if you're looking to if you're looking to darken the shadows in the blue, I would really go for like a dark grayish blue, like desaturated, not high vibrancy color, and just try to reshadow with that, and that'll make the vibrant pop so much more. The vibrant blues and the greens and the yellows pop so much more, and then you'll be like, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of this before? And you'll see that difference.
I don't know. Like, other than the darkening of down here, I really like all of it. Like,
Yeah.
I agree with Warren on that, but I think other than that, and especially since he says that it's a quick session, I think just leave it.
I understand. I'm just saying that this is same with the 2D artists. We're very afraid of using gray tones, desaturated tones, because we're afraid of it getting muddled and muddy. But try using it, it'll change everything.
Well, we'll take a look. Speaking of desaturated and vibrant colors together, we have next up Derek Wong.
Derek. A whip of Lorgu from Hera Miniatures, keeping my brushes wet. Indeed.
Yes, Lorgu is his name, is it?
Apparently. I think that's how you say it.
Lorgu?
Lorgu?
It's definitely a different incorporation of Doctor Who. I don't remember this Doctor Who at all. Alright, so I think we got Warren up first this time.
Oh
Yes.
man. I feel like this is kind of above my critiquing level. It looks phenomenal. I don't have anything to say. I mean, contrast looks great. Blends look buttery smooth. The NMM looks great. Yeah, I don't know what. Maybe a little bit more shadow work in some of the skin. It does look a little muscle islandy in some of the stomach muscles.
I see
but
what you're saying.
I feel like I'm really just trying to nitpick on something. It looks really good.
So, I will throw it to our local Larry, and then I will comment.
Well, this is clearly a professional canvas piece. He's just trying to pass off as a miniature, and I'm totally not jealous and petty at all. I mean, I can't find anything wrong with this. This makes me think like Frazetta.
Oh yeah, Frank Frazetta.
Frazetta or Vallejo. The paintings that they did. This is just phenomenal.
Well, I think it's looking quite good. But if you tell me if you're done, and then I've got some comments for it, because I'm used to being wrong on the internet, so I've got that advantage.
Well, I'm done.
All right. So the one big thing that I'd say is we've got this natural direction of the light. So we see that the light is coming this way, right? We see how it's hitting here and hitting along here. And we see that with the muscles here. But if we start turning the model around, so we've got here, and we take a look at the brightness of these muscles compared to here. Now, right here, we see the light shining there. Great. We see with these muscles that I wouldn't say that overall that they're brighter than these ones, because that's where the light should be hitting. And particularly when we go to these muscles over here, they don't seem nearly as dark as everything else. So, like, I can get that he's trying to show that line of light along here, but if the light is shining here, especially with the angle of the model, these shouldn't be as bright, especially down here. And the reason why I give this feedback is because I believe he's trying for a showcase level model. Like, that's like, yeah. And we can see that he's really pushed it in some of these areas, but I don't think that he's pushed the darkness as much.
I think I realize why this little bit off to me.
Yeah.
So the helmet and the pauldron looks very 2D, because like when I look at this,
Yeah.
this model, it feels like an advanced 2D color pencil drawing.
Okay.
So I was like, it feels so sort of like that I was like, why does it look like that? And I think it's because of the highlighting that he's done here on the helmet. It because it goes into the white. I think if it still maintained a bit more of a vibrant green, go into like a yellow green vibrant.
I understand what you're saying, but I disagree with that because I think this is meant to be like a sort of burnished coppery metal, and this is a non-metallic metal paint job the whole way around.
I know. I just feel that white highlight on green metal doesn't quite 100% fit with my senses. I feel that's great for gold. Your true metals like gold, coppers, and maybe even your silvers. But I feel with this green, it could use a bit more of that, like a vibrant green highlight, rather than like there's so much white.
I understand what you're saying, but I completely disagree. I think that white really helps show where the light has hit.
Yeah.
Right? The only thing that I think needs improving at all is the shadows. Like, it's got this very specific style, and like you were saying, Larry, very Frank Frazetta. But I just feel like you could darken your shadows so much more.
Yeah, is it because it looks like flash photography angle sort of thing?
Kind of.
Yeah.
But I think that it's not flash photography. I just think that it's the way in which he has done the model itself. Just like that's the style in which.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously very done in a very specific style, and I think it looks great.
Yeah.
But just those shadows would really help the contrast. All right. So next up we have. Oh, it's myself. So I have to read. Whip Wednesday. I'm painting up some towel for a video, trying to finish the shadow point, which I'm very late on. Graded Dream and now has trees, but really need to pull the finger out on all the projects. What are you painting now? So I will move on from Derek. So these are just some bases I did up. So it's just steel, and then I puttied off the areas, and then put some what's that red called, the one that we have?
Is it anti-fouling red?
Yeah, anti-fouling red. Then just added a bit of German beige to it and just hit some areas to highlight. Put a light contrast over it, and then just darkened those areas with just a straight black, and added some pigment powder. And for the steel, I just masked off those areas. Sunny helped me with the masking, and just added some lines with some sponging. And yes, same thing with the pigment powder on all of it. Larry, thoughts?
Look very good, very clean. Wish I could mask as well as these lines are. I can never quite get even parallel lines, but they look very good. Maybe a little more dark inside, like the grill plates.
Yeah, that's fair. Warren?
So kind of a segue first real quick. If you want a easy way to get even parallel lines with masking tape, cut 3 strips. Lay your first one down, and then put your next piece right next to that, and that'll be the one that you remove to paint. And then you put your third piece next to that, so that way they're all even, flush, and lined up. And then you remove the middle strip, paint it, and then boom, you have nice, even, parallel lines.
Good tip.
Great. So
anyway, aside from that, the bases themselves, if you were selling these, I'd buy some. I like them a lot.
Yeah.
Well, these are just meant. Well, this is how much I love basing. These are just meant to be tabletop bases.
Maybe
So
we should take his advice
Yeah,
and just
yeah,
do
you should.
sell pre-made bases by
You should. Those
Cal.
look really good. I would
Yeah.
buy some.
Oh,
yeah,
well.
Those
well,
look better than the pre-made ones we have at the hobby shop here. So
well, I do like making bases. Like I could see myself being a little elf basing things. But Sonny has done up some pictures for Derek Wong. So there's two pictures here. What are these
So
two?
that's the original.
So here's
This
the
is the
original.
original.
All right. And then we go to this
That's
one.
I just made a slight edit.
Okay, so and that's just so I'm just gonna try and switch between. Okay, so you just shadowed a bit more.
Yeah, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna take a screenshot of the color that I hope up.
Okay.
So a plum, like a desaturated plum,
All right.
that I have just used the airbrush tool from the
Yeah, now I need
Photoshop.
how do it?
Yeah.
The thing is trying to. So that's
Yeah.
what you're talking
So
about.
desaturated plum with the airbrush.
Yeah.
Just hit the sides of what is that? The shield, the muscle that is in the shadow from the
Oh, yep,
from
yep,
the
yep. I see.
where
I see.
and at the bottom of the feet there.
Oh,
and
yep.
and then I just went in with that nice chartreuse color, airbrush it just over the white-ish areas, but still leave just a small dot of white.
Okay, so yeah,
that's what I was trying to get at.
I think this looks good, but honestly, I do like this style. But I do think for the muscles in particular, that looks a lot better. I think also for the shield looks a lot better. But yeah, so we'll move on
Yeah.
from
So
that. I will close all of these images that I have built up. So when it comes to the tower, we'll move on from them unless you want to harass me because these are whips as we've got the finished ones at the very end where I have roughly 1,000,000 pictures. And
oh yeah, the towel. Oh, the towel.
yes,
I love the captain.
look.
I
Look, it is.
yeah. So you have guests. You can use the guests to talk about the towel.
Yes, we will when we get to the actual finished
is
ones.
that- are these
Yeah,
not
because these are
finished?
updates.
Oh, all right.
All right,
Oh, look at
so
Warren's stuff.
somebody has to read this out,
Yeah, not me.
not me.
all right. Okay. Update on updating this piece. Hopefully, I didn't ruin it.
I don't think that you did. I think when you had the red, it was a lot different.
The magenta looked red in the picture. Yeah, she
Yeah.
tried for magenta, but yeah.
Yeah.
But this feels so much more like the original spirit of the
Yes.
piece. And at first, I was a bit so on darkening the grass. But when I saw the picture from like top down, I was like, okay, that works. That really works.
I think if you like, you've really pushed like the sort of brightness of the leg metal, and I think one thing that might be good is adding a white line within this one, not within any of the others, just within this one here. What do you think?
No, I think you should.
I mean, with one of them, I don't think you can go bright enough. I think maybe.
I think that's honestly it, because like with metal, sometimes if you take a look at car photography, it doesn't go that full white. It just goes to like as maybe like let's say a black car. The highest highlight would be like a gray. And
I understand what you're saying.
so I think that works. I think he should leave it. I feel like if he does any more work on it,
but
it might go
yeah,
spoil the soup.
But I still think that this is the golden angle. This is the best bit. This bit I love right here.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it's my favorite angle too.
yeah. But since we have a Larry with us, Larry, what are your thoughts?
I really did like darkening the grass, like Sonny was saying. That was a good choice. Um, I think maybe that center line at the center of the glow maybe should be a little brighter, whiter, something a little more intense, so it's a little more obvious, like that there's a wave rather than just a glow.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I do agree.
Actually, on that point, guys, since we got a bit of a brains trust here, there's one thing that I want to ask. If it's meant to be a wave, should we not have more than one line? So we've got this line here, right? And like show a wave coming from it instead of, so because we got quite a bit of space here comparative to usual. Sunny's doing her magic on the YouTubes. So not
Yes,
YouTubes.
I am YouTube.
Yes, you are YouTube.
I am the
Speaking of YouTube, I should check the comments. And Cal just says no.
No, no, you cannot.
But yeah, because I was just thinking about what Larry said then, the idea of a wave.
Yeah.
And so Sunny's gonna do that up.
So like a few more lines, is that it?
Yeah, kind
Okay.
of.
I think
kind
maybe
of.
one more or two more. Let me try to get it.
Yeah, so Sunny's
So-
gonna work on that and try and visually show that. But in the meantime, we will move on, and we have Cian Williams, and he has done a whole lot of videos. Okay, so since my phone prefers actually working on video mode with the flash, got it. These are the models I've been working on. So as promised, the old one, the old one-eye minus the head and scything talons. The first Carnifex with his bioplasma and xenomorph head. 70% of my Neurotitan basing still needs work, and everything is great. All right, so here we go. Let's take a look. So I'm gonna mute that before we get struck for music. Alright. So this one's still a work in progress, I believe. How do we go to the next one now? Seems like my little things where it says go left or right has disappeared now. Alright, well, that's one of them. So I will try and pop out to the next one. Alright. Ah, I see. You'll have to mute your background noise before doing that. But yeah, they seem to be coming through a lot more. I wouldn't exactly say color shift. What are the mini neurothropes called? Do you guys know?
I do.
I'm sorry?
Hive Tyrant.
I just call it the floating brain thingy.
The floating
Floating brain
brain
thingy.
thingy.
Yeah.
Alright,
Sounds
It's
about right.
so what do you guys think? And then we're gonna run back to Warren's piece because Sonny has done something. Okay. So your guys' thoughts on CN stuff? I will go to this one because
Well,
we can't really show each of them together, can we?
yeah, I like the metallic, almost graphite appearance
Mm-hmm.
that he has there. I think it's a very good xenomorph effect. I think he had some other figures he showed last week that had a similar kind of coloration.
Mm-hmm.
Looked really good. Um, the other ones, I'm not that great on DIY kit bashing myself, so I don't really have much to say about those.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Warren, do you have anything to say on them?
Not really. The kit bashing stuff, I'm in the same boat. I don't really have a leg to stand on when it comes to kit bashing. I wish I had the creativity for it.
Oh, you wish you had the This is the man who wishes he has the creativity for things. Okay, this not creative at all, and creative, not creative, creative.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
All right, so Sunny has done something to sort of show what we were talking about with waves. So we saw here, this is the original, and this is what she's suggesting, having like a thick lined wave.
That's the first one that
Yeah.
you already have, and then
And
it's
then
like subsequently thinner line.
Yeah, what do you
So
think
giving
of
like a pulsating effect almost.
yeah. Or like it's the like it's coming out with strength sort of thing. Not it's more, imagine it as a still life of a video
Ripple.
effect.
Like a ripple.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
What do you
I like
think?
that. I do. I like that a lot. That looks really
You
cool.
can disagree, Warren. It's okay.
No, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I really do. I think that that almost adds a little bit of life to the magic.
Mm. Well, what I think it does is add directionality to it. And
I was gonna say, do you think if I did some like parallel streaking to those lines, like that would add a little bit more movement to it?
Parallel streaking to the line. I can't quite imagine what you're
yeah,
saying.
You know,
I'm
so like imagine you're looking through like a comic book or something, and a superhero is doing like a punching motion, and then they'll have those like whooshing lines behind
Oh,
their fist.
one
I know what he's talking about. I think.
so 1 sec. I'll see if I can find Motion Lines comic book. That's what we're talking about, right?
Sure. Sounds about as good as anything I'd use to search that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna see if I can bring this up here. So I'll do it here and see if is this what you're sort of speaking of?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Okay.
so hard to imagine.
Do you want to be doing these streaking lines just within the pink glow, the boundaries of the pink glow, or do you want to do that even going onto the robot?
So I would say just within the boundaries of the glow, like specifically going from like the different lines you drew,
Yeah.
like those lines themselves are streaking.
Well, let's leave that with Sunny for a hot
Yeah,
minute,
I think I know how
and then we'll come back to that again. All right. So next up, we've got John. Did I already load this? Yes, I did already. No, did I? Yes, I did. All right. So mini Warhound Titan. If you listen closely, you can hear the clockwork mechanism. I like that he's got some Tamiya glue here, and he's on the cutting mat. Do you guys know this in the Do you guys know this in the lore? This particular scenario. What about you, Warren?
Weren't those the two Primarchs that like fought to the death or something?
So they did end up having a fight later on, but probably spurred on by this moment. So Fulgrim's being a bit of what do they call it? A diva. Is being a bit of a diva with that. And so that's the one I use. No,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
back. Yeah. So what happens is he has this mini Warlord Titan, and he's actually made it precisely so that it works. And he's like, "Here, come over. You can listen to it." And then when he comes over to listen to it closely, he grabs him by the head and smashes him into the Titan repeatedly because he's acting like such a diva. So yeah, I think it's a great looking piece. I do, however, feel like it needs a little bit more detail. But if it's just sort of meant to be as a meme magic thing, I think it's spot on, absolutely spot on. but yeah, we will see. We will see how things go. All right. Let us move on to Chester. Chester's got some more stuff. All right, whip. Yellow is challenging. Get a couple more layers till I reach full opacity. Do you guys want to share your experiences of yellow? The pain, the tragedy?
I've actually never found yellow that hard to work with.
I see.
Of
All right,
course.
I'm gonna leave.
Of
I'm gonna
course
cry.
you would say this.
I'm.
He's leaving. Oh, honey, come back. He's crying. Look what you've done. Look what you have done. No more
I'm
review for
sorry.
you. Honey, come back. Ayah. Honey. Ayah, man. Okay, I guess who's going first? While he does whatever it is that he's doing out there.
I've talked enough.
Okay, I guess Larry has to go first this time around.
All right. It looks like he's doing the thing where you put down a pink base over and then do the yellow over the top of that to help for shading.
Oh, yeah.
That's my guess. Looking at it right now with that particular color combination, he looks just like a G.I. Joe action figure called Blowtorch. That
Yeah.
was a flamethrower specialist, and he had yellow and red patterns just like that figure. So I'm loving this where it is right now. But yeah, I'm thinking I've never done the yellow over pink thing myself. I've always wanted to try, but I've never actually done it. But that looks like what he's probably trying to do there.
So I have returned from dramatic crying. Definitely not a chance for a pee break. But yeah, I'm gonna be interested seeing where it goes. I think we see an update of this slightly later on. So let us move on, and we will see how things go. And I definitely won't cry when Warren talks about
Yellow
yellow
being
not.
easy to paint and
Yeah.
all.
So someone
Well, especially if you
has to.
airbrush it.
Yes, someone has to read this out. Definitely not me.
Alright, fair enough. A little something something to cleanse my palate between high stress projects.
I see. So what I see is some very easy to paint colors. Is that what you see, Larry? Very easy
Pale
to paint
green.
colors. Yeah,
So a
very
lot of
easy.
pale green and purple. That's easy enough.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
I posted an updated version of this in the What Are You Painting channel on Discord too.
I'll see if I
I didn't
can
like the
find.
crystals.
I'll see if I can find it because we got quite a few things here. So, oh yep, here we go. Oh yeah, there she is, updated.
Oh, you don't like the crystal?
Yeah, so he
I
changed.
Oh, that's good.
I like the.
it.
It's like that Flamion miniature style crystal. I've
Flamion?
seen that before.
Oh, you've posted yet another update.
Yeah, with the streaking like Warren has.
Oh no, he has.
Oh,
this
he
one.
has. Oh, right.
So yes.
Yeah, I don't see
lighting.
what's wrong with it. I like it. I suppose it could be darker at the top. I think that's why he's upset with it because it doesn't quite have that dark shadowing at the top, like you said with the reference picture.
Maybe. I think it looks good. I like it. But speaking of not liking it, so Sunny has given an update, and here we are with the this is Sunny's updated one with the lines, and then here's with the sheen lines that you were talking about, like that. Is this what you were trying to talk about, Warren? Along
I
here?
would tweak like where they start and where they end, but yes, that is the general idea of what I was talking about.
Hey.
All right. Well, what do you guys think about that?
I don't
There
like
we go.
that one so much.
You don't like that
I would
one?
probably do fewer lines.
Fewer lines.
Yeah, but I think it has potential to again just show movement.
Mm.
Yeah. Well,
Because
I can
if
try.
you look at the comic book ones, like the example you brought up originally, Cal, they
Yeah.
were all pretty
Oh,
um uh
Stark.
the pattern repeating. They were all pretty even and whatnot. But if you look in when they're actually used in comic books, it's a bit more sporadic and spaced out.
Mm.
So I think maybe, like I said, a few less of these and making them a little bit more non-symmetrical would kind of help to that,
That
chaotic
would help.
magic moving.
Maybe.
That would help.
Maybe. Yeah.
Because when I take a look at it from, like, compare it from far, right? When I look at it like this, like
Yeah.
at this distance, it actually looks pretty good.
So you're saying like when you look
Yeah, like when you zoom it out, it has that sort of shing
Sure,
effect. The
I can see that.
shing. I'm not 100% mad about it, but, like, yeah, that's why I think maybe just a little, not too many. Depends
Hmm.
how Warren wants to do it. Obviously, I'm just doing it quick and dirty with Photoshop just to see
Yeah,
what
just
it's
to
like.
visualize it, and I think I think that's definitely something that you
Yeah.
add to these reviews.
Yeah.
So I agree with Warren. It seems a bit too much. Nora Skander says. But yeah, so it seems like people like the idea of the ripples, but maybe the sheen lines.
Might be a bit overkill.
Well, it
I
like
think the
in
sheen
this.
lines by themselves indicate motion because you have a thicker one at the beginning and then you have progressively thinner and lighter ones going out. And it's kind of like
For sure.
a tide coming in.
Well,
I
let's give one a
So to
try
me, that
where it's without the ripple and
All
just
right,
the
we'll
shine.
just send that one in,
Okay.
and then we'll take a look at that because so we've got it with ripples and sheen, and now Sunny's gonna send one where it is.
Just the sheen lines.
Yeah. But I tell you what, I think if you were trying to go for a competition, it seems like the WAYPN Discord is quite the resource. Just gonna throw it out there.
It helps to have a
Indeed.
graphic on
Es-
board.
Especially when it's only $2 a month.
Ooh,
Just
ooh.
press the post button.
Okay, but I need to tell which. So you've got the
I can. It's fine.
okay ripple with sheen on the left,
Yeah, look,
and
because
then
we'll
just
have
the
this one
sheen
up
on the
here.
right.
So
So
how
this-
about with just the sheen? What do you think, guys?
I like the ripple better.
Ripple.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think I like that one the least.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's ripple. Right, ripple with sheen. Just with sheen. So
I think I like just the ripple.
Just the ripple.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
ripple also seems more gentle than a
Yes.
blast,
Yeah. I think that
Yeah.
you hit the nail on the head with that one.
healing rather than an attack.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
Fair.
So
Yeah, fair enough.
yeah, I agree with that a lot.
So
Yeah.
I've just written in the general vote for ripple only, just in case we forget which one we voted for.
All right. Well, you know what we should do is we should actually figure out how to put up votes and such. And
I made the icons of the Larry and the Alan and the Greg.
that's not about voting.
Okay.
No. You. All right. Well, let us move on to. Hey, I haven't seen this person post before.
I think they're new.
They might be new.
I think it's pronounced Sane, but I can't be too sure.
I do not know how to say any of these words.
I can't be too
Sunny, new
sunny, but like sunny. Like saying it like that.
You stop.
What?
How do you say the second name?
Let me see. Go.
I see. So you're not even
Yeah, I
with
was
us.
busy doing the photoshopping. Oh,
Oh dear.
it's just that if I say it, I think it will sound very silly.
Okay, Newt Boom.
Yeah, like I was gonna say Nutaboom, I think.
Newt Boom.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's take a look. Put that one down. I think this is a really nice piece. I
It's
will.
quite. What is this guy anyway?
I'd assume some kind of tree man. I'll throw to you, Larry, and we'll get your thoughts on it.
I do like the base a lot, and the eyes. The eyes I think are well done. I think maybe the crevices could use a little bit of a darker wash or something,
Yeah,
just to heighten contrast.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but otherwise, I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love the green. It's just a lovely mix of the sort of dark to vibrant greens. It just pops, especially with that red eye in the trees. Really draws your attention.
All right. So, what about you, Warren? What are your thoughts?
Like how the base and the tree come together. They definitely look like they belong together. um,
Yeah.
I do like the greens. The only I wouldn't say it's a complaint, but uh, all the greens are the same. There's no real variation in like green patch to green patch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I feel like in nature, you definitely get a lot more variation across so much different foliage. So um, I think a little bit more variation in the greens would help sell it. But as is, I think it's a great piece. It looks really good. I'm sure it does exactly what it needs to do.
Yeah, I really like it. I think that this is like a tabletop plus piece or a character level piece, and like I think they've hit the right balance on everything. Like I feel like I do agree with Larry that it could use that darkening, but if I was playing against this or if I was using this piece, I'd be perfectly happy.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, so we will move on. And next up,
Oh
somebody has to
my.
read this out,
Oh yes.
not me.
Not me.
Oh, I hate this guy. Okay. Let me see. What did I write? The Crimson Marine is done, painted in crimson, black, and turquoise to match the local university colors, and put a university logo on the shoulder, New Mexico State University. I was able to make a decal for the shoulder that turned out okay, but the others I tried to make just didn't work. The decal paper was too thick for such a small round surface like the knee and the bulge in the backpack. It just wouldn't form around it properly. The desert basing, I based that on the desert here locally, so that it would look, in keeping with the university theme. And I put those two pictures in where I pasted them on it to, well, just kind of show off a little bit. The
Mm-hmm.
last picture has him saluting what we call A Mountain. A is for Aggies, which is the local mascot here. We're all Aggies. Um, the turquoise bits on the armor. Some people have mentioned possibly putting in a glow, and the parts on the armor, like the chest and the arm, I wasn't thinking of them as glowing. They were just that color because turquoise is the color for New Mexico. And as far as the sword goes, well, he's standing out in direct sunlight, and down here you're just not going to really see it. So I didn't bother with that. But overall, I've been really happy with how it turned out. Gave it as a birthday present to someone, and he was really happy with it. So
Can I have it?
No, what? He gave it to a present to someone else.
Maybe that friend can give it.
But
I think you'd
anyway,
have to fight him.
It's a
I
really good model.
I wanted to
Thank
show
you.
I wanted
Oh,
to show
this thing.
this because this I think was great in showing how you actually matched it to the local terrain. Because right here, if you like you did just take the base rim away and just slot it in, it just matches perfectly.
Especially the lighting too. It's got that overcast
Yeah.
light, which matches perfectly in the
I think
environment. Like,
I
oh
think
my
it looks
god.
like the basing is perfect. But as people know, I'm very big on basing. Basing is one of my big things because basing is about how you tell a story of where something is,
Mhm.
but I realize I have talked too much when we have a guest.
Mm.
All right, so would our other Larry, Warren, like to speak on this piece?
I think it looks really, really good, really well done. I'm glad to see you finally finished it up. Um, I really like the edits you made, throwing it into real life pictures and whatnot. That looks really cool. And I agree, you definitely matched the paint job to where you want it to be. um, yeah, I don't really have anything to add. I guess if I was gonna nitpick, his his gun holster does look a little flat.
Yeah, that's I'd
Mm.
actually agree with that.
Can I just see the picture where he's crossing the road?
Okay.
Look at this! Isn't this hilarious? Oh my god.
Why
Why
did a
did the
space gun
Marine
cross the
cross the road?
All of you are terrible. All of you are
To
ter-
kill chaos on the other side? I
Duh.
guess.
But yeah, no, I like it. I like how the front is brighter than the back. All of that.
Cal thinks it's funny.
Yes, yes, not this Cal though. I like this how it's brighter at the front than the back. I do see what people say about a globe, but when it comes to presents, when it comes to commissions, there's only one thing that's important, and people need to realize this, myself included, that no one else matters other than the client. You know, you can spend hours fixing up your minor mistake, and if the client or the person who's getting the gift doesn't even notice, like, just think to yourself, was those hours of work really worth it? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Fair enough.
like,
Yeah.
I think when it comes to the glow and all of that, look, they're happy, you're happy, that's the main thing. I think it's a beautiful piece, and I think it's probably sitting on a shelf somewhere in a what's it called? Place of purpose? No, that's not it. It's not, I've forgotten the
A
saying.
display.
No, there's a certain saying, oh no, it's not coming to
not
me.
coming.
We're gonna move on.
We're gonna move
Everybody's
on.
moving on. All right, great.
Alright.
So next up we have Joseph Malin.
Joseph, just say, I've spent 2 evenings working on the white of these cloaks, and it looks like it was just primed. Hopefully a little hopefully a little color to frame it will reveal my work. If not, I may paint over it later.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It does just look like it was
primed.
What does the panel think? Painted or primed?
Which one is?
I
have
think
no-
If I had no other context, I would have said it was just all been primed white.
yeah.
And I think part of the issue with that is because nothing else had been painted.
Yeah.
Um,
A lot of the
it's got an
times
update later where it looks a lot better.
All right. Warren, painted or primed? Warren has died. It's okay. We will
You guys
mourn
don't
him.
hear me?
Oh, now we do.
Okay, they look primed.
Yeah. All right. I am sorry, Warren. The council has spoken. It is time to move on to an Andy. All right. So, Sonny, you must read the words.
This evening's work, progress being made with the highlights and shading. Probably need to push everything further, but it has progressed since last week, which is all I can.
All right. Well, what are you guys thinking of the progress? We'll go to a Warren first. Should I say a Greg?
Okay.
Yes, so Larry is Greg. And
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. All right. I think it's looking good. definitely agree that there still definitely is more shadows and highlights to work through. But for being a whip, I feel like it's looking really solid and going in a good direction.
All right. We will throw to an original Larry.
Excuse me. I do like the color choices, the blues and greens and purples and all that working together. It does seem a little flat to me. But he does say, like he says, he does need to push the highlights and shading a little bit. So, but otherwise, I think he's making good progress.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I'd say the oranges definitely have stepped up from last time I saw them, which were a bit more flat. I really like the shadowed areas. Yeah, I think it's all looking good. There's nothing here that I see where I'm like, oh, that looks absolutely awful. I'm liking that. The bat's coming up quite a bit. It'll be interesting to see it, and especially because I think that the skin might actually be a bit better than we're realizing, because currently it's fighting a lot of the background. When it's in a bit of a darker background, I bet it's going to look a lot better,
Yeah.
like in a photo booth. But yeah, we will move on to what appear to be a video game flashback that I have of crashing in a car repeatedly. For those of you who know, you know. I'll take it that you know, Warren. You know what I am speaking of.
Nope.
You don't. You don't.
He's
No.
pretending.
Okay.
Battletoads?
Yeah, Battletoads.
Mm.
Battletoads was a notoriously difficult video game, but it wasn't actually notoriously difficult. There was just this one section where you had to go through these various jumps on a bike, and it was like a completely different game for just half a minute. And like, if you didn't get that one piece right, you'd lose all of your lives and have to restart the entire game. So
Oh wow,
it was very frustrating.
that sounds miserable.
Well, Lance says, have to take a little break. Back at it.
But yeah, I think it's looking good. What about you guys?
For a tabletop, I think it works great. I love the eyes. Very nicely dotted.
Yeah.
I mean, preferably, I would prefer a bit more definition, but, it works for a tabletop.
For a tabletop, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Tia's here, and Iskandar said, all right, I have to go take a nap. I have a lot of driving to do today. See you guys later. Yes, see ya. Thank you for dropping by.
Yeah, so I think that they look good. I'd be very happy to play with these. And like, I think Lance has a very specific style of doing things. But one of the things that I do want to note is just a quick bit on how he's done his bases. So he's tried to do them up in a swamp style. So they're just on the discs, right? But you notice that he's done a variety of aquas and just some little leaves on top of the things by painting them in. And I think that's just a really nice little touch, because his basing has come so far from where we saw at the start.
Well, he still could use a bit of that soil.
No, because this is meant to be like liquid
water.
to try and make it pop a bit.
Fair enough.
All right, so next up we have Brian Thomas.
Brian.
Would you like to read?
And he say,
spooky.
He missed out the P.
Well, you can
Okay,
just
spooky-ish D&D night. LOL prints by John C. Nash. Oh my god! John C. Nash.
Yeah.
John Slanesh.
Yes, we know John Slanesh.
Very nice. Oh, I love it when the WAYPN is collaborating.
Yes. Well, the one thing I like is this little picture here.
Look at his face, like, hello. Who might you be? Entering my dungeon? Oh.
But I really like how all of it sort of come together.
I'd love to play this just for funsies. It sounds fun.
All right. Well, what about our panel? What does our panel think? I'll throw to Larry first.
Well, I'm just a sucker for pumpkins, period. So
Yeah, it's
uh,
true.
uh, this is known.
You do
But
love your pumpkin.
yes, especially jack-o'-lanterns. These are very well done. I get the impression they were done pretty quickly
Yeah.
in time for the game. Um, I think for what they're meant to be, they're done great. Uh, excuse me. But yeah, I don't really have a lot to comment on these guys.
Mm. Mm.
Maybe I'm biased.
Yeah. Well, it's obvious that you're biased with the amount of pumpkin miniatures that you've shown off throughout the time. Um, I was going to say throughout the years, it does feel that way, but I think you've only been posting on here for months now. I don't think it's
Mm-hmm.
been a year yet, but like, oh man,
Yeah.
internet time flies. But we will
Stonewall.
we will throw to our other Larry, which is a Greg, which is RJ Warren.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. They look great, and for tabletop quality, I mean, there's absolutely nothing to complain about.
Mm, mm.
Um, I feel like that's one of those things where that just means you're in a great position where if you want to take them that extra step, you can do that pretty quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
So just some highlights here and there, enforcing shadows here and there, and you're going to elevate those to the next level pretty quick.
Well, I think as you guys said, like they were painted up pretty quickly for a game, and they've done their job. And like that's the thing to remember, guys. Like paint to your purpose. If you're painting for a competition, you're going to paint to a higher level. If you're painting so that you've got colored models, on Friday, paint to that level. If your painting is a part of meditation, just don't worry about whatever the hell else is going on. Just keep painting your model and show it off as it progresses and stuff. Don't worry about the result. Just keep going until you feel that you're done. Paint to your purpose. So I think that these are great and have hit the mark exactly. All right. So next up,
We got John Gas.
gas. Gotta keep gas.
My ad is getting the best of me. And I can't decide which way I want the ghosts to go. I started my other big project, Heresy Era Lionel Johnson. I spent a few hours tonight working on the cloak, trying to do my absolute best on this one, and I'm worried especially about getting fur on the pelt.
So shall we go to Warren?
Let me read what John says. So he says, okay, I am hoping to have the lion for a competition piece. I have already repainted the cloak a time or two, just trying to get it right.
Well, let's throw to Warren first. Oh no, what has happened?
Do you guys not hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
we can hear you now.
Oh, okay, geez. Oh my gosh. All right, well, I gotta run for dinner, so if you guys are still on when I'm done, I will jump back on.
All
Okay,
good,
all
all
good,
good.
all good, yeah.
All right, so
All right, bye guys.
Bye
see ya.
bye.
All right,
Hey,
we will then throw to the resident Larry.
Local Larry.
well, the green is very nice. I think it could use a little more contrast between the shadows and the highlights.
Mm-hmm.
A little darker green in the dark crevices and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Fur is something that always gives me a headache. Um, Unless I'm just painting like a uniform color coat. If I'm trying to do like patterns in fur or something, that always gives me a problem. And most models to me always seem like either it's overdoing the fur effect,
Mm-hmm.
which this doesn't quite get that far, but it's getting close. I'm thinking, or they make it the fur too smooth. You know what I mean? So it's more like
Yeah.
skin. So I always have a hard time doing fur myself.
So for me with fur, I really think this is where dry brushing shines, and I
Hmm.
do think that for fur, it's much more about finding the right color tones than anything else. So for example, if I was doing sort of a lion fur, I'd probably follow something similar to my skeleton colors. So I might start off with, I do believe it's called Talan Desert Sand, which is it's slightly darker than Xandri Dust. Go to Xandri Dust, then go to a Sharpie Bone, and just for the most finalist of final highlights, I would use Screaming Skull, but barely. Like I'm talking like treat the Screaming Skulls as like a white. I So with that, I think like there's a lot of shadowing in this, and I think dry brushing would really help. But I really like the subtlety of the cloak as it stands. I do
Hmm.
agree that it does need some deeper shadows, some of these areas, but I actually like the way that it's looking at the moment. Now, this might be the natural light, but I think that it's looking really, really nice. I think that that's gonna come up quite nice. Like from that green to this green, like here you can see it's a bit obvious as the transition. So what I would do is get this color and just thin it and just paint it around here so that like the transition is less obvious. But I like the color choices. I like the subtlety. I think it's good. Um it's going to be, yeah, like I like it. If this is the start, this is really nice. If this is the finish, it needs a bit more work. But yeah, like so I can tell that this is shadow from the light, but like if you actually manage to affect that shadow right there, that would be perfect. Just perfect.
Tia is pointing out that the teeth might blend in with the cloak, the fur,
Yeah.
considering the color choice.
So the cuz that's just going to be a problem when you have, you know, lion's fur. But
Yeah.
what I'd do is just down here have it brownish yellow and then go to white, and like that's how you give the differentiation so that you've got those bits there. I think that's the important thing. Just having something where there's a bit of a color break so that it's got that separation. But I think this is looking absolutely fantastic. All right. And so next up, well, you know what? I might skip over this one for a bit because we're missing out on Warren, and we need to receive maximum abuse. And there's also a Larry piece right after it where we can take a look. So
Got oh no, the Larry has to read.
oh, Larry has to
I
read.
nearly
You are
read
correct.
it for him.
Yes,
Oh.
you're correct. All right, so I'm not reading.
Okay. Got to help keep it spoopy tonight. I didn't really do much more of that from the last time we did, other than I did painted the horns black, painted in the pupils on the eyes, and some of the tentacle stuff down between the legs. I wasn't really planning on posting just that little amount, but it broke out the jack-o'-lanterns, had a little candle, and I thought, hey, I wonder how this would look, and it looked cool, so I thought I'd share. The video is just, it's in the
Yeah.
light box with the tea candle just a little bit below it for
Well,
that flickering effect.
let's take a look at the video. I like. I also like that there's no TV blaring in the background.
But that's
But
he doesn't have to.
it does look very VHS-y,
Oh
with the bits
yeah.
of static with it, you know.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that yeah, you go.
I took the video and then blew it up a little bit because it
Oh,
was
did you?
a little small on the screen.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think it looks good, man.
I think the thing I enjoy about your post, Larry, is you always add some sort of atmospheric piece of photography to go with the models that you paint, and it just makes it so much more fun to look at.
Mm-mm. Well, I still think that my favorite piece of yours is what's his name? Unfortunately, my brain has been memeized. All I can think of it's John Cena, but that's 100% wrong. I think he's Jason, the one with the hockey mask.
Michael Myers,
Michael Myers. Yeah. So
Halloween.
Halloween. Yeah. Um, he where you've got him on the little base with the uh white picket fence on the
Hmm.
VHS. I think that was fantastic. Like
Yeah.
that was my favorite one by far because it just felt so perfect. And I like this one with the flickering tea light because I feel like it's it's so atmospheric and it feels so like 80s cultish, you know, like that's what you'd see from one of
Ah,
those things, you know. There's a whole lot of people in brown robes down below just
yeah.
like, oh,
Hmm.
Cthulhu, Cthulhu, you know, and
Something
like
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um and we won't let Sunny say the word, will we?
No, we're not gonna say the name of this creature.
All right, so Sunny, would you like to talk a bit about this video?
Oh yes, so we did a little short story for Deepavali or Diwali, as many people seem to
Know
uh,
it?
know it, and we did a sort of a high concept piece where we have two inquisitors arguing about whether or not they should sanction this world for
Mm-hmm.
practicing a said religion, whatever religion that would be. And I play the part of the Lady Inquisitor, and Cal plays the part of the dude, and the dude says is being quite harsh, and the lady is like, you know that if you do this, you're gonna cause more problems than solve them, right? And the end, there's a very nice ending, which I will not spoil. But that is where the story goes, and I hope you guys head over to our Zorlord channel and give it a listen.
Yeah, and
It's
we
very short. It's like 5 minutes, but yeah, it's only 5 minutes. Yeah, yeah. If you are watch it from WAYPN members only channel, it's 8 minutes because we give a bit of commentary at the end.
Mm.
But on the public channel, which is the Zolo one, it's only 5 minutes, and I think you guys will like it.
Yeah, and I'm really happy to say that we now have over 100 subscribers on
Wow,
Zol.
we're famous. We're famous. Oh.
Well, the law videos are a lot easier to make than the hobby ones.
I personally I enjoy making the law videos. I think because it's more relaxed. Like it's just pictures. I find the nice pictures that I like and I put it over, and it's less thinking involved. I think because with the hobby videos, I have to really focus on how to visualize some educational
Yeah,
topics.
like you were with Warren's piece as we were going along. I'll just ask, Larry, did you see this one?
Yes.
What did you think of it?
Thought it was good. Excuse me. I didn't really know anything about how religion was handled in the
Imperium.
Imperium, so this was a good look into that on how
Okay,
it's done.
cool.
A
Cool.
little glimpse.
And what did you think of the characters for the short period of time that you got to see them?
The voice you used for yours, it reminded me of something, and I've been trying to figure out all day long where it came from.
I see.
The rough, gruff
Yeah, yeah.
voice that you did. I It sounded so much like I can't remember if it was a video game character or cartoon or something, but it sounded like someone. I've been trying to figure that out
Oh yeah.
all
So
day long.
You'll figure it out 2 days later.
yes.
Yeah.
Waking up in a cold sweat.
And if he's like, I remember.
But yeah, no. I've got a series of voices that I use for D&D, and that's sort of authoritarian, gruff voice number one. Just Abalathian. So we will move on to Lance's piece.
I think this is a Lich Knight from Next Level Minis.
Yeah. So I think it needs a bit more for its basing, but I will throw to our resident Larry and get his thoughts.
The cloth down there, I think the red cloth, I think could use a little more shading.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just seems a little flat. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right but it looks like the armor is painted red and then it's got like maybe a dry brush of metal
Yeah. Yeah.
on
I'd
there.
say
Is that
that's
what's going on?
yeah. I
Okay.
do believe
I,
so.
I I think that looks pretty good. It might could use a little darker in some of the
I would agree.
yeah, in some of the creases, but I like the bare metal over the red effect.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with you here, Larry. I think that the white could be smoother. I think that this red blends into that red. I think that it needs some shadows, and I think you could do some stippling with the metal to make it so that there's a bit more than just the creases.
Yeah.
Because it's dry brushed and like that's fine, but like I think that just a little bit of work would go a long way. I definitely think you need to add something to the base to make this one pop a bit more. I'd say that this one is kind of the opposite of the Battletoads in my opinion. Sunny, your thoughts?
Exactly the same. I do think the cloak needs
Yeah.
obviously he's gone for the dry brushes and a whole look, I
Yeah.
believe. But I think needs to change the brush that he's used. Use a makeup brush instead next time.
Yeah.
Something soft, not a harsh.
All right. So next up,
It's Tia. So, I'm never going to afford a real official GW. So, I've been building this proxy for almost a year now. Could I get a bit of feedback? It has lights in the guns and lights on the body and void shield generators, also a separate light in the cockpit. It does open and has a pilot. Hand arms and all weapons are magnified and can swap to have different loadouts. Right now, I have the Power Claw, Volcano Cannon, Sun Fury, Plasma Gun, plus Apocalypse Missile launchers or Laser Array. Overall, I've used parts that were poorly 3D printed to make the legs, but from the torso up, it's all scrap particle board. Sprue goo, hot glue, and random stuff from the old bits chest. I'm not the best painter, and I'm hopeful my local community might offer their skills to help me punch it up. My ultimate goal is to have it as a community piece that anyone at the LGS can use and enjoy it. It's not often you get to play around with or against one of these behemoths. Anyway, thanks for looking and double thanks for your feedback on my Lucius Patton Warlord Titan.
all right. So I'll throw to Larry first and get your thoughts.
It's made me realize I need a Titan to protect my cookies too. So, but I really do like this. It's got a lot of charm and character.
Oh,
Got
it
good
certainly
colors
does.
on that. The head makes me think of Splinter, or not Splinter, Shredder.
Yeah, from Teenage
from
Mutant
Team
Ninja.
Eternal. And I'm guessing the void shield generators are the
Crystals.
the crystals up there. Are those like knobs from a drawer handle
I'm not
or
sure.
something?
I'm not sure what they are, but there's the Decepticon logo on it as well.
Yeah, and it all works. And the little dragon heads on the
Oh, the
on the
dragon
things.
heads are so I'll get to my favorite bit. My favorite bit is One second.
Plus, it's stepping on
This one.
someone's farm.
This one right here.
Tia says they were going for a shredded look.
Yeah.
Okay.
This gun right here is my favorite. Like, 'cause
Yes.
it lights up. It's obviously previously some sort of water gun or that sort of thing, right? But with all of the nonsense all over it, right? It no longer looks like that at all. You have to actually look at it for a bit to take a look at that, and see that that's there. But that's definitely my favorite bit. This gun right here, I like it.
And that's part of what I really like is it reminds me of all the old kit bashing from when I was a kid.
Yeah,
Like they even would use for Star Wars and TV shows and Mystery Science Theater 3000. You know, they've got all these model pieces just glued to a wall. You can see the Millennium Falcon on one part, and you can tell it's just all these different things repurposed and rebuilt to make something new, which is really cool.
well, it reminds me of the old White Dwarves when we used to have the what do you call it? When we used to have,
Magazine?
yeah, no, back when they used to have things like the deodorant can land speeder. You guys might not know that. Let me look it up. I'll find
Oh yeah, I remember this picture.
deodorant land speeder. So, see if I can.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is. Okay, so here we go. Hopefully, this will. So this is what they used to show in White Dwarf magazine. Things like this, where they showed how you could do that. Where they've gotten a deodorant can, and they've turned it into this land speeder here, and that used to be very sort of classic, very classic 40k sort of thing. You just grab all of these bits and pieces. So I think it looks really good for what it is. You know, I think these bits where you've got like the dragon's head, where you've got the banners, I think that's definitely what helps it. I think that some of the times less is more. So, for example, with the crystals on this side, I think less is more. I'd probably take those ones away, leave these ones up the top, and try and keep it symmetrical. I think where you've got the eye on one side, yeah, like those sorts of bits of thing. But I try and make it a bit more grotesque. Like you said, if you're gonna get the community to work on it, definitely do that. But if this is the base, and like, don't be ashamed of not being able to afford a Titan. A Titan apparently costs the same as a new car these days.
What?
Okay, so I'll just... Here we go. We will go to the Warhammer website and we will type in Titan.
They start at like 1,500, don't they?
Well, we'll soon find out. Reject cookies. I do not want your cookies.
Yeah, that's what the Titan's for.
Yeah.
Protect the cookies. I reject your cookies.
I reject your cookies in place of my own. So this is just a bit of an arm of a Titan.
It's $44.
Yep. So I will go to filters, sort by. Is it price descending or price ascending? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
So here we go. Here is the Titans.
Yeah, 2,653.
And this is without its head and without its cannon pieces.
Christ. Wrong with...
Yes, correct. So like
when you said new car, I did not believe it because like in Singapore the car prices are not as 2,000.
Oh yeah, but I mean like we're talking Australia and America
but
here.
like yeah, you can definitely get a car for that price.
Yeah.
And
a cheap car
and
it'll get you from A to B.
No way. I'm just like, shut up.
And look, that's without its arms and stuff.
Plastic model
Oh,
cost as
not
much
plastic,
as,
resin. It's not even
resin.
plastic.
I think we should move on. Yeah.
Sorry, Tia. You have incidentally upset Sunny.
This is oh boy.
Oh
I would like,
boy.
if the lights on that flash, I would love to see a video of it
Oh, that'd
Oh,
be fun.
yeah,
That'd
yeah,
be
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
flashing.
Flashing
That'd be
lights.
cool.
All right.
So, one sec. Tia said something. Can you read that out, Sunny?
I'm from the old Hammer crowd of people, and I love Rogue Trader models.
Yeah.
That was when you were talking about
The land speeder.
Land Speeder.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So, Joseph, I started again, redoing the white from scratch. I covered far more of the dark grey base color with the pale blue midtone. I also apply more layers of the pale blue. The final pure white highlight was dry brushed rather than normal brushing, which actually gave better results. I'm much happier this time, but I don't think we'll get the full view until the pink hair is done, which needs the clothing under it doing first. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'll throw to our resident Larry, and then we'll see how we go.
It definitely looks a lot better now. Doesn't look primed. It just looks white. And it helps a lot too. I think that there's other parts of color on the
Yes, I'd
on the
agree.
models to distinguish it. Otherwise, it might still have the same problem or something similar.
Mm-hmm.
It
I
definitely
agree.
looks a lot smoother. Like now, when you have the pictures,
Yeah.
I can tell which ones were like painted over a little bit to clean it up, and which one might potentially just still be primed. Or
Mhm.
maybe I'm getting it all wrong. But like some of them, I can see a bit more of that white come.
Yeah, I definitely agree. All right. Well, I'm gonna click the refresh button, see if anybody has posted anything, because I think we've been
refresh.
going for 2 hours now.
Have we? Yeah. So we started at
Yeah.
9:30.
Yeah.
2 hours. J-bus.
Yes. So
J-bus.
no, it looks like
That
it's
is
down
all.
to us. So it's down to
the
the final
the final.
countdown.
It's the final. Oh, sorry.
All right. So the tower finish. There's basically a million pictures here, and this is for our missing tower unit episode. So if you're very interested, check them out. First up, group pictures, then individual pictures. All right, Larry, hit us with your thoughts.
Well, jokes about painting with invisible ink aside, I think these turned out very well.
Thank you.
I would say, and this is just me, but I would say there's a missed opportunity because in all of these things, these models and other things I've seen other people do, the invisibility like either comes up from their feet and the last thing to be seen is their head, or the first thing to appear is their head in their torso. And I'm thinking those are the most vulnerable parts. You'd want those to disappear first and reappear last. So there should have been some figures, or at least one or two, where all you see are like hands and feet
So
or the legs.
I will talk about one of the limitations with that. So these parts are the official GW parts. So they're plastic. So they can't be invisible because we can't resin print them. And so those invisible towel legs we got from somewhere. I don't know where. There's definitely something going on with that. But so I printed those up to go with these. So for the body and a lot of the arm, and so for the part of the legs and for the torso, they're all from Anvil Industries, and the bottom part of the legs, which is the tail part, are from somewhere. And so for the most part, the heads and the arms
And the weapon.
Yeah,
They're not completely transparent.
yeah,
No,
no,
they're
they're
just
actually plastic, just grey plastic.
Yeah,
So
so
Okay.
so that's why I can't.
we only have the body to the legs to play with in terms of
Yeah.
invisibility.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a shame.
Yeah, if I had have spent more time wearing an eye patch and practicing my voice,
Yar.
yar.
Yeah, I
Perhaps
get you.
perhaps I would have been better at that, but I'm I'm not I'm not very good at my
Blender skills.
yes.
Is that it?
Yes. So for example, this guy is almost all um Anvil Industries. Like if you actually looked closely at this hand, you'd notice that that is a human hand. Um, but yeah, so other than that, would you like to give some more or less feedback?
Some of it, and this is purely aesthetic on
Yep.
my part. Some of it I might consider using like some alcohol inks or something similarly very transparent to make the invisibility effect a little more of a transition, a gradient.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like I said, that's largely just an aesthetic thing because I know these guys, they've got like a wave or
Yeah.
a boundary that's appearing or disappearing, whereas I would be inclined to do more of a fade in, fade out
Mm.
kind of thing. Um, but it seems like it would be interesting to try that,
Yeah.
just see what it would look like.
I agree with you,
That's
actually, Larry.
that's what Sunny wanted to do for quite a bit of it. This piece is the one piece where I feel like I failed the most because I think this is meant to just be a way of having the drone floating sort of thing, but the drone is far too small. That's an Anvil Industries drone, and I should have scaled it up or done something. But I actually found that having the white within the hexes I didn't like as much. That was Sunny's idea for those ones. Um, but what are your thoughts on this versus um more the ones like this? Oh, hold up. That's another Sunny one. More the ones like this where it's the strong line.
I do like the effect. It comes off well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I what I don't know, and this is because I really don't know Tau or their technology or any of that stuff, but the like the black with the white lines hexes there, is that part of the effect beginning to take effect, or is that just how it
That's
looks?
that's what we're trying to indicate, yeah. So this is for a unit that does not exist yet. So one of the things that we're doing with the current video is we're talking about it's almost like a design versus law mini. We're talking about how when we take a look at the Tau catalog, there's all of these different units, and essentially with them, they suggest a unit that isn't there yet, which would be this infiltration kill team, which we've made up here. Um, and the idea is that the Tau have a number of units. They have that's a bit too big. Um, they have, for example, the um they have the scout units, for example, the Pathfinders. They've got the oh, what's that bike that they have? The one that's a bit of a Vespid sort of thing. Sorry, not Vespid. Vespa. It's
A
like
Vespa.
it's like this little hover bike thing that they have
I
that's
don't know
for
the
scouting.
hover bike. I don't know the hover bike
You
thing.
do if you see it.
Is it the piranha or
yeah,
something?
the piranha.
Oh, okay.
And then they of course have their artillery units, and these are all sort of standard army units and divisions. But then when it comes to their stealth units, what they have is they have the ghost keel, and they have the imaginatively named Tau stealth suits, but that's it. Whereas if you're a real military, right, you would want somebody who is human sized, right? Somebody who could infiltrate buildings and do that sort of thing, right?
Hmm.
Not a whole like mech thing, but something where people could go in, do whatever needs to be done in whatever building, instead of a whole big mech crashing through the place. And that is essentially what we have imagined here. Um, and so that's pretty much the spoilers for the episode. We go through and say, here are the various units that they have, and this suggests a unit that they need. And so that's what we're talking about.
Yep.
And we go through our process of building them, where we get the pieces, and we really like the Anvil Industries hex pattern because we think that that shows that style of cloaking technology.
Yeah, because we talk about how that's also a shape that you use to represent advanced technologies and societies,
Yeah.
with the hex shape. So this works perfectly for that.
Yeah. So as Tia says, nice, a Tau Black Ops team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's essentially what they are, and within it we've got various roles. So just go back to it for a minute, and we'll go. I'll bring the chat back up too. But the so for example, that guy right there is meant to be a gunslinger. He's got the two weapons. This one's meant to be the commander. I'll go through them a bit more individually. So this guy's our big gun guy. He's got an ion cannon, I do believe that one's called. And then we've got another big gun guy, which is, well, this is meant to be the long range guy, which is the rail cannon. Then we've got a camera drone. As you can see, its actual camera is quite small compared to all of its sensory gear and all of that. Meant to be sending data back to the people. This guy is meant to be our sort of bomber specialist, so you can see he's got an invisible claymore here, which really does seem a lot like a war crime. And then just this guy's standard dude, so we've got a couple of standard dudes. This guy, a spotter, and then this guy, another standard dude with a different weapons loadout. Scanner dude, another standard dude. There's the gunslinger with a few more different positions. The commander guy. I was really happy with how the commander's guy's face came up.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
The skin's really good on that.
So you just got the Chimera colors, didn't you?
Me? No.
I think so.
Oh, Warren
was
just
Warren?
got.
Yeah, Warren got the Chimera box.
So this is Phthalo Green, I believe.
Oh, blue shade.
And it's just mixed with contrast medium, and so I painted it on with contrast medium, wicked the majority of it away, and then made a really thin coat and put that really thin coat in the middle. So like, yeah, just doing that I think really brought it up, and obviously some nice contrast work there, and that's all it was. But tell me what you think, guys, and then I think we'll slowly sign out.
Looks really good. I just posted one in general. I really like that view, the way the leg comes out.
Yeah.
That's kind of along the lines of what I was talking about with using like the alcohol inks.
Oh yeah.
With getting a less harsh transition and more of a fade in, fade out. But I really like that one right there.
Yeah.
I quite like it because like now that I'm looking at the pictures like several days later, and you can turn the model around, you see how painted side shows through like a frosted glass effect on
Yeah.
on the other side of the transparent resin, and it just looks really cool. And that's why I kind of like what Larry's saying here as well. When you look at it at that angle, it's quite nice. So you can part that's still opaque versus the part that's still transparent.
Yeah.
All right, Larry, is there anything that you'd really like to talk about when it comes to the hobby and such? And if not, I think we'll just sign out.
No, nothing really pressing.
Nothing really pressing? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for this belated
Review.
and we're sorry about that, but we had a big Deepavali party and it was great. It was fantastic. We had lots of people over, lots of lights. I think we had
very many lights.
So we got 2 boxes of the tiny lights, which is 24 each. So we had 48 of the tiny little lights about. We had fairy lights. We had the tiki torch plastic lights.
The fairy lights. Yeah. So many lights.
Yeah, there was enough for the Festival of Lights.
There indeed.
You know, I think yeah, it was very, very nice. And I was very happy with it. And of course a bonfire as well.
Oh, with the bonfire.
Because so even more light. Not enough lights.
Light pollution for one day.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time. All right. So, guys, let's say it together. Keep those brushes
wet.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, everyone.